lecture by topic on millets, a wise rice flour, modern living. Now I request Honorable Vice Chancellor sir to come on to the dais. Now I request Dr. P. Vijay Kumar, please to come on to the dais. I think big round of applause. I request Shyam Prasad Reddy garu to come on to the dais. With big round of applause, today's chief guest is Dr. Khadar Vali. Thank you so much, sir. Now I request the audience and also the dignitaries on the stage to stand on your feet for national anthem. Now I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Dr. L.S. Ganesh, to say a few words.
Namaste, good morning to all of you. As usual, the Center for Women's Development has come with a very interesting event in terms of health. And I thought I'll share a few of my thoughts since Dr. Vali is also here. Sir, I've been severely diabetic. I had a HbA1c count of 10 point plus, nearly 10.5. And by sheer diet, exercise and rest, with no medicines, I could bring it down in 9 months to about 6.7, taking me back to 2019, 2020. But very often, like most human beings, my temptations got the better of me, and the diabetes again went up, and the latest reading is again 6.7 or something like that. But I want to share something with you, sir, because it's clear. Even millets shot up my sugars. And unfortunately, I'm sharing another thing. No painkiller is working on me. Morphine didn't work. 2 concurrent phenol patches did not work. I don't know what to use. I'm suffering from severe pain, and the wound is healing, but very slowly. So I'm openly consulting with you. So this is the challenge that we're facing. But this is a very interesting topic because we all know historically millets have been the basis for Indian society for centuries together. I think probably lakhs of years, yeah, sure. So This, I think, you're going to share a lot of wisdom that you already have with you, and I'm sure this will benefit all the colleagues here and friends here today. So I look forward to learn from you as whatever happens. Thanks a lot.
Now, Dr. Vijay Kumar Garu to speak few words.
Good morning, students. With the blessings of Shankar sir and Khadar sir, Shyamprasad Reddy sir, and here we are very fortunate to be here in front of you to share the facts of millet. In nowadays, we are all habituated rice. Rice contains more carbon, as you know very well. So millets are the right food. So Dr. Khadar initiated since long back. So millets contain slow crops. Means sir pursued master's degree and he achieved Doctor of Philosophy in sterile biochemistry, worked for the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and later he went to America. There he worked for the Oregon Institute, Research Institute as a scientist, and then he realized there a small baby girl who matured 7 or 8 years at her age. Then Saab realized he started Millet mission as we are all having wrong food, simply say. So he has to do more research in food habits, what are the right food. That time he started millets are the right food. He went back our ancestral food, which is the best food for in modern culture, which will heal, inner healing process. Millets are the right food. So simply say, Dr. Khadar Garu, I don't want to take much time. So we are very happy with the blessings of Dr. Khadar Garu. Sir will tell everything about millets. Thank you, kind of you.
I request Shyamprasad Garu just to take 2 minutes.
Good morning to everybody. I am Shyamprasad Reddy. I am a retired irrigation engineer. But you may have some doubt. How does an irrigation engineer connected with Khadar? And I think I am the oldest person in the hall. I think so. I am 75. And but I don't take any medicine till today. That is because of I got in touch with Mr. Khadar in 2018. I'm an institution council member from Telangana. In that way, we have arranged the first meeting of Khadar in Telangana on 4th March 2018, and we have published one book also in Telugu. That was the first book on Mr. Khadar. And since then, we have published nearly in 3-4 languages, and we have distributed nearly 50,000 copies freely. Now still I am having only Telugu version. I brought 2. And anyhow, after meeting Khadar, I dispensed with 4 things from my life. The first thing is rice. Second thing is wheat. Third thing is sugar. and fourth thing is milk. People may perturb to know about the milk. The other day, he was preaching all the same things since 25 years in India. But the other day, I have seen one video of Dr. Nageshwar Reddy, Asian Institute of Gastroenterology. I was hearing his speech. What is this? Khadar has changed his voice. I do not, because I was not looking at the my cell. I am not looking at my cell. He was telling about not to take any milk. Milk is not digestible after 5 years. Only mother milk is digestible. Therefore, this thing we were hearing from Mr. Khadar, but doctor of national, international fame, Mr. Nageshwar Reddy is also telling you, try to include millets in your diet, he was telling. Still he is not able to come out openly, but he was telling that please include millets also in your diet. Therefore, friends, though I am an irrigation engineer, after studying his philosophy, I came to know that I have wasted my 35 years in irrigation department by constructing so many dams. I am in charge of the Krishna water project from Nagar to Sagar. But that is the drinking water board. But irrigation, the moment we construct the dams, they go for the paddy. And the paddy is most dangerous for the humanity. It releases so many gases that he will tell. And even in 1990s, World Bank has refused to give funds to Telangana, Andhra Pradesh state, if you go for paddy. That is the situation. Therefore, once we turn out to millets, everything will be solved. Everything will be solved. No need of taking water from the rivers itself. Let the rivers flow and join the seas. And millet, they don't require much water. And really, no interstate problems, no Andhra Telangana problem on Krishna water, and no need of connecting this river to that river. Even the central government is planning to connect Godavari to Kaveri by investing 45,000 crores. It doesn't need any connecting of rivers. Only we have to preach. Please raise millets. That's all. Eat millets and cultivate millets, and you support millets. Okay, friends, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. To give just 1 minute time of introduction, Dr. Khadar is a well-known Indian nutritionist and agricultural scientist, recognized for his advocacy of traditional and natural food practices. Born in Kadapa district of Andhra Pradesh, completed MSc in Regional Institute of Education, that is RIC, Mysore, and completed PhD in steroids at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. And he became a postdoctoral fellow in environmental sciences at Beaverton, Oregon, US. Dr. Khadar is honored by Padmashree and also known as Millet Man of India. He emphasizes the importance of a diet based on organic and nutrient-rich foods for maintaining health and preventing diseases. He has dedicated much of his work to raising awareness about the benefit of unprocessed whole foods and natural farming methods, particularly the consumption of traditional grains like millet. Dr. Vali has also been a vocal critic of the widespread use of genetically modified crops and the commercialization of agriculture. He is known for his research and work on the health benefits of multi-based diets and his promotion of organic farming techniques to restore soil health and reduce the dependence on chemical fertilizers and pesticides. His teachings have gained a large following, particularly in India, where he works to educate the people about nutrition, traditional diets, and sustainable farming practices. In addition to his work as a nutritionist, Dr. Khadar has authored books and conducted many seminars and workshops to educate the people in the science of nutrition, natural healing, and the importance of food in maintaining the overall well-being. His philosophy centers on using food as a preventive tool against lifestyle diseases, encouraging a return to simpler, more natural ways of eating and living. Over to Khadar sir. Thank you.
Namaste, namaste. Andarki namaskaram. As of now, human race is in big trouble from many dimensions. I fail to understand why we are following the Western thought process and models. We are copying without question. One example I would give you is, of course, Dr. Vijay mentioned this milk. Milk has calcium. It is a scientific myth, a narrative built up by the Western dairy industry. Calcium is not there in milk of cows, or there's only 100 you have only 900 milligrams of calcium per liter of milk. And that calcium is not available for human consumption, rather absorption. So if you cannot absorb milk, calcium, what is the use of drinking that milk? But you can absorb all the steroids available in the milk and then do damage. But then the last 50-60 years, we have been actually writing in our science books for small school kids that milk has calcium, milk is complete food. Milk is complete food for whom? We have not asked that simple question. Mother's milk, your mother's milk is complete food for you. So, cow's milk is food for whom? For the calf. And you cannot digest your own mother's milk after 2.5, 3 years old. Imagine your mother gives birth to another baby after you, 2.5, 3 years later. Do you go and drink the milk of the second baby? Your own mother's breast, the same milk, you think? It is not. In fact, the milk you drink in your lifetime, the first 2 years, the first 3 weeks milk is different from the next 3 weeks milk. It's dynamically different. When you put your lips on your mother's nipple, the mother gauges what do you need for the next 3 weeks. So the constituents change. The steroid content changes. The bone, the calcium metabolism, all that are different, especially in the early stages of your growth. The calf of the cow grows in 6 months this big. You do not grow that big. That means if I put cow's milk in your mouth, am I not disturbing your hormonal balance? And that's the reason why girls are menstruating at the age of 3 and 4 right now. The average age of menstruation is 9 on this planet, which was 16 to 15 years old naturally. And no doctor in the world is asking this question, why it is happening. Instead we have tablets. And this is the paradox of the so-called modern science. They call themselves scientific, but they don't ask basic questions. Why are we drinking milk? Because it is trillions of liters is made by injecting steroids and IVF. And no one has any problem with that. Billions of cows are facing the problem on a daily basis. And billions of women are facing the problem. Don't think men have escaped. Their sperms have evaporated. The kids born are because of non-healthy sperm count. We have mentally retarded kids. We have physically handicapped kids. We have hole in the heart kids. We have type 1 diabetes kids. These are all supposed to be genetically manipulated diseases. That means even before the egg, the embryo is formed, we have this in our system incorporated. So it's not that there is gangrene patient here, he himself declared, that's how I am showing the hand, otherwise I would not. Diabetes patients, BP patients, thyroid patients, BP patients, 30%. Diabetes patients, 30%. Thyroid patients, 30%. CKD, chronic kidney disease, 30%. Arthritis, rheumatism, no one has any count actually. I mean, 60% are, I don't know, it's incredible. And then gastric problems, the so-called gastroenterologists have no clue how to cure simple gastric problem. Because they themselves have gastric problems. You take 100 MD, MS doctors, whatever pie chart I have told you is exactly same with MSMD doctors, auto drivers, or mothers in the house who do not come out of the kitchen house. What does that mean? What does that mean? That means MD, MS doctors do not know what they are doing. The whole problem is we are looking elsewhere. The problem started in our kitchen. Of course, the 2 minutes I interacted with Madam, she said, women are not cooking, sir. They are ordering Swiggy and Zomato. Bangalore alone orders just last, and now next January 1st comes, 1.2 crores Swiggy orders already placed. This is history. Any IPL match or anything that jumps to 1.4 crores. But madam, sincerely I want to tell you how it all started. In fact, when Zomato Swiggy was not there, it is the men who go out, eat outside. Hyderabadi biryani, Kashmiri biryani, this biryani, that biryani. They come home and say, hey, that biryani is very good, why don't you do like that? And the women, poor ladies, strictly, even if they are actually vice chancellor of university, they go home and say, my husband wants this, so she tries to cook that vegetable biryani or whatever biryani, done biryani. They try their level best, but the taste is not recreated in the kitchen. He said, it's not that good. And the husband is very kind-hearted. Don't worry too much. You just order. When I come back, I'll get a packet. And they eat in the house. So the lady says, oh, it's really good. I tried my best, but I could not get this taste. But the taste is not because of the vegetable, this and this. It is because something else the corporations have got when they send you this spray. They are called taste powders. How do they make taste powders? It's a different story. I don't want to waste my 45 minutes, but they use it. Then you get the taste. So then the lady says, I cannot get this taste. So don't worry, we'll order. This is actually, I'm telling you, a polite husband and wife. Both respect each other. And I can show you a Bollywood or Tollywood movie just on this concept itself. That's how the Zomato Swiggy orders began. Then what happened is, husband says, I want to eat biryani. The lady says, if you have time, you order, otherwise I will order. I have just jumped many steps. Making sense? So now, Swiggy orders are 1.3 crores. you know, in Bangalore there is a girl, 8th standard, ordering beer, sitting under the school tree. You may want to know that Karnataka is the state where you can order beer in Zomato. Where am I going? Where am I going? Why you order in Zomato Swiggy? Tirupati Timmappa Laddu itself has got fat of pigs. The reason is simple, that we are making 92 billion pigs every year slaughtered, and then the meat eaten and the remainings are boiled in big boilers. You have the fat content more than 10 billion kilos every year produced in these Western countries after this slaughter. That fat content has to be utilized all over the world. World Trade Organization comes into picture and say, if you take this fat, then we will do the services from your countries. And that's how these things began. And in India, 1980s or 90s onwards, everywhere, every city, every village, we have baking technologies. CFTRI, there is a huge institute in Mysore. They have a department, they train people how to bake. Baking is foreign to us. Most horrific way of making things, the huge environmental cost, huge energy to cook your food. And then you have bread, cake, chocolate everywhere. 1 kilometer of any city, you watch, you have 18 bakeries. And the fat is used in that bakeries. And ironically, in Mysore, we have Iyengar bakeries, very famous. Brahmins baking pig's fat in their bakeries daily. So Tirupati Timmappa had, and Bhagavan doesn't have any problem. He takes 4 slokas and take Gomutra and Prakshalans and it's over, it is sanctified. What about the nonsense that has entered your life? And that is the reason why young girls are menstruating in the age of 6. And that is the reason why we have gangrene. Once it is entered, it doesn't go because it has become autoimmune systems. The bone marrow is infected. Where the blood is synthesized is going wrong. And all the doctors come to us, will give you tablet. How long? I'm actually trying to squeeze because I want to save time for the good things. How long? BP. How long? How long should I take tablets, sir? Lifelong. Thyroid, lifelong. CKD, lifelong. Cancer, till you live. This is a joke, you can laugh. But the system, the content we are dealing with is very serious. Now we have type 1 diabetic patients born to almost every 8th fellow, that means 1 by 8. 8 kids out of 100 are type 1 diabetes. You have to inject insulin. Diabetes is incurable. BP is incurable. We have laws made. 1954 we have Wonder Drug Act. Good job. No one should be advertising saying that they can cure these undergiven diseases. If someone says so, he is punishable. Because there is no wonder drug discovered till today. And this law is made in 1954 in Indian Parliament. Till today it is chalu. That means no one can say he has cured diabetes, leave alone type 1 diabetes. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? That means if someone claims that he has cured diabetes, he is punishable. Diabetes is excess glucose present in your blood, not able to find transformed products, then sitting itself onto the hemoglobin is called HbA1c, which is beyond 7.5, you are diabetic patient. Of course, these doctors have reduced it to 6, 5.6 like that. That means anyone who has above 6 HbA1c is diabetic, and if it is above 7, you are diabetic, you have to take tablets. You may become diabetic, you please take tablets right now. I am not saying, these are not my words, these are the present things. So what it means is that you cannot be cured. But the problem is that your blood has been receiving glucose in such large amounts that it is disturbing the homeostasis of the blood. I am actually out of the box guy, me. So if the glucose content is disturbed, which is supposed to be 5 grams in 5 liters of your bloodstream, any human body 5 to 6 liters of blood. When the homeostasis of the blood is disturbed, how can it be pumped properly? Because the thickness of the blood is increased, so your heart faces the problem and you have created BP. And then you are telling that you take blood thinners. The same doctors say blood thinners, different kinds of blood thinners. When you take blood thinners, your BP comes down. What does that mean? That means your blood has become thick. Why did it become thick? That simple question they are not asking. So if I prevent the thickness of the blood, then you don't need these blood thinners. Am I right? So who made the blood thick? Your rice, your wheat, your sugar, your fat contents are all making the thickness. Because if your excess sugar is there, the body by itself, liver and insulin releasing pancreas makes glycogen. Glycogen is the precursor for fat. So you are making fat. On top of it, you are advised to eat more fat. Where is science? So the excess glucose is the problem. Who made the excess glucose? The Green Revolution experts said, this is premium food. Hurray, what are you eating all these years? You are eating millets, you are eating jola, ragi, sajje, navne, kaffe. Yeah, what nonsense. These are all coarse grains. You are not supposed to eat. This is primitive food. These are exact words used by these experts. Then all of a sudden the farmers in the world, oh, we are not eating the right food. We are supposed to be eating rice and wheat. And rice and wheat, for heaven's sake, have no mechanism to hold the carbohydrate being released into your bloodstream. That's how. And so, these experts are different, these experts are different. They don't want to talk to each other. So these experts are producing food that can disturb the homeostasis of the blood. And these experts are saying, do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, to take this tablet. Wow. And we have no question to ask. The excess glucose is transforming itself into fat. It's called belly fat. Men become pregnant, never deliver. Women after 9 months deliver. Where are we going? We have gone so far that we are producing type 1 diabetes. In the last 20 years, the percentage has increased to 6 to 7. And now they declare it is genetic because the pancreas has stopped producing insulin. Can you say that video, please? This next one. Only 2 videos.
Welcome to Dr. Khadar Lifestyle.
Actually, that's not my lifestyle. My followers have given
injections, and that he had to take it for about 4 to 5 times a day. And not just that, in the middle of the night, we had to check his blood sugar levels every day so that he doesn't enter a hyperglycemic state. And that is very painful to see, right? Thankfully, on the 9th day after his discharge, our very close relative, because of his experience with Dr. Khadar, recommended us to go consult him. So I took my son along to Mysore, and we saw Dr. Khadar. Dr. Khadar immediately put us at ease. He said, my son does not have to be dependent on insulin injections for the rest of his life, that there was another way that included switching to a millet diet, stopping anything that was processed, stopping milk and milk-related products, switching to an organic diet, and following a good physical regime, that is a good exercise routine. And immediately we started that. Also, Dr. Khadar, in his disease protocol, he recommends, for diabetes, he recommends taking concoctions of certain leaves in the morning and having bull-driven oils. There are 5 types that he recommends for diabetes. So we started doing that for my son. And in a week's time, we could see how his insulin dosage had to be reduced, right? For every meal, in fact, we had started giving him lesser and lesser because his blood sugar levels were getting controlled with lesser dosage of insulin. And believe it or not, at the end of 1 month, we could, stop his medication completely. He was just managing it with whatever Dr. Khadar recommends, with the millet diet, with drinking the concoction of certain leaves, with the bull-driven oils, and following a healthy regime. So we are extremely indebted to Dr. Khadar for his timely help. We are grateful to him because he's been our savior. And I recommend that everybody follow Dr. Khadar's protocol. Even if you're healthy, please switch to a millet diet. Stop eating gluten and rice because it does more harm than good to our bodies. All of us at home eat whatever my son has to eat to manage his health, and that is great support when you do that. And we can see the difference even in our health. So thank you again, Dr. Khadar. You've been our savior, as I've mentioned time and again. And I recommend that everybody follow a millet diet to stay healthy.
So this is type 1 diabetes. Now the boy is around 16 years old. It's been 5 years. They come Ugadi day and put namaskara and go away. He has not gone to any doctor. I have hundreds of these small babies relieved from insulin. I have thousands of gangrene patients not being amputated, gotten back their legs. In fact, just before week I went to Patna. I went to a village where we had to address 1,000 farmers. They followed this book. He's an auto driver. He has cured his gangrene. He used to carry millets in his auto, soaked in bottle, cooked on the coal with barley. Then he used to drink that ambali. Within 3 weeks, he got well. Like that, I have thousands of cases. The idea is to tell you that if you do not disturb glucose balance of your blood, no disease can find its way into your body. We haven't done research on this dimension at all. All over the world I am talking about. And every biochemist knows that homeostasis of the blood is the most crucial. So why do not have research done on this? And there have been 2048 grains on this planet since time immemorial. And how many are human race eating now? 2. No research done on any of these grains. Billions and billions of dollars have been spent. Big, huge libraries were built. But of course now no libraries are there, they are all in the chips. Where is the research done? How do we kill the insects that infest the wheat farm? Because of monoculture, you have the infestation. 800 million tons of rice is produced on this planet every year. Because the war material, the bomb material has been converted into fertilizer, and the fertilizer industry, so-called food corporates, have made this happen. On top of it, wheat is produced 1,000 million tons. Rice and wheat are sisters. Both are C3 grasses. They have no control whatever to release glucose into the bloodstreams. Any animal, whoever eats, that's how it flows. Uncontrolled release of glucose into your bloodstream is the reason for your diseases. Once the glucose increases, your gut microbes start decreasing. Why gut microbes are important? Because it is the doctor present within the body. You do not need multi-speciality doctors. You do not need multi-speciality hospitals. You need diversified, multi-dimensional microbes in your gut. And that's where the control is. Including your brain, your neurotransmitters, the synthesis, transportation, everything is going through your gut microbes and nothing else. Do the doctors, do the so-called scientists not know this? They do know. But then there has been no effort on this experts' side to prevent the decline of gut microbes in the last 70 years to 1.1 kilo. It should have been 2.4 kilos. And that is the second reason why we have been transforming one disease into multiple diseases, because there is no doctor within left. So your hormonal balance, your glucose balance and microbial balance are the three pillars of your health, and no doctor is talking about it. You go to a doctor, you have MRI scan, PET scan, CAT scan, whatnot. What is this? Steve Jobs, died of time. Here also similar problems. 800 doctors, 8 months, all the technology available in the world could not save him. In fact, in the last 8 weeks he could not even drink water. Crohn's disease, IBS. It's all because gut microbes are not. So the most important thing is to have glucose balance in your bloodstream established. That will heal. And even if you establish glucose balance, who dresses, undresses and tailors your system in the body? Microbes. So without establishing the gut microbes in the first place, even if you eat millets, nothing will happen, and this is the mess. So first thing you want to do is take millets, soak 5 grams of it, that's all, 5 grams for 8 hours. Then cook for 15-20 minutes, slow, steady fire. The grain is boiled, cool it, tie it in a mud pot, because mud pot only can facilitate fermentation, aerobic fermentation. Unlike your milk becoming curds is an anaerobic fermentation, only one bacteria is there, lactobacillus, whereas when you ferment 5 grams of millet with all its wonderful fiber in it, and that's the reason why you need to soak for 8 hours. Unlike your rice and wheat, 2 minutes, no daddy, no mummy is necessary. Noodles, 2 minutes. And that is the sad story of human race. That noodles contain gluten, which goes and starts working on your celiac region. Celiac region is where you absorb your nutrients and all antioxidants, and you screw that place up because of gluten protein, which is plentifully available in your wheat and maida. So the burger, the pizza, the noodles, the subways, all that you are eating is, what are you doing? You are killing your doctor. You kill the doctor within and go to the doctor. 1, 2, 3, 4, file after file, each one carrying this much. Is there more unscientific way of doing things than this? Your mother's milk, calcium, can be absorbed by your proteins in that particular gap. After that, your genes switch off that enzymes. The proteases are not there in our body. There is not a single protease in your mouth to the stomach. So now these experts are spinning another revolution, pink revolution. Green revolution is over, white revolution is over, now pink revolution. You need protein, you need protein. You need 70 grams of protein for your body weight. Absolute narratives build up. And then everyone thinks you need protein, protein, protein. So, of course, vegetarians are hardly there anywhere in this planet now, very few, because Timmappa himself has been fed. What? All the reminiscence of this slaughter industry, they boil in a big boiler and then make fat, and that's what is distributed everywhere in the baking systems. And you are eating. Sadly, our Mysore, we have Iyengar bakeries. I keep telling this. So, even people who are supposed to question are not questioning. And we are feeding our babies even before they are 7 months old, all these nonsensical things in the name of science and progress. So we are bombarding our systems. Why 7 months? Even before the embryo is formed, we are bombarding, and that's why we have these dysfunctional kids born. In fact, in America, from 2000 to 2020, the percentage of confused kids, what is confused kids? They do not know who they are. They are girls or boys, they themselves are not aware. The hormonal imbalance is so much. There is more than 31% LGBTs. And no expert has any problem with this. I mean, biochemistry is going haywire. And we have no questions to ask. For me, it looks very, very difficult to comprehend why we are doing all this, why we are not questioning. In Europe and America, women shave more than men. Beauty parlors everywhere. Of course, the cities of India now has been inviting the same culture, because we are also ordering Swiggy, Zomato, steroid-based milk, steroid-based eggs, steroid-based meat, and no expert, no food expert talking about these things, because it is food corporate culture that is ruling the way. ఆహారపు రాజకీయాల్లో ప్రపంచం మునిగిపోయింది. And we have no questions to ask. And that is the reason why people like him are suffering. So the solution is simple. Take Ambali every day within 6 weeks. Eating millets is one, and how do we process it through? Not outside, inside. And who will process? Our cells do not have the capacity to do this damage control. It is the microbes that coexist within you. Unless you build that army in your tummy, tummy means it's not tummy, it's the below the stomach, okay? But as a common word we say tummy, gut microbes. So ఈ gut microbes లేకుండా ఏ పని జరగదు. Including you want to be calm and quiet and peaceful, your gut has to, and that's what I keep telling many of these so-called yoga, pranayama, poof, 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 all this poof, poof, poof doesn't work. Unless your gut microbes are there, because that's what produces neurotransmitters which will keep you calm. First of all, we should know how to shit. Unless you clean, you have no health. And that's where millets come into play in a different dimension. The fiber, the aromatic fiber, the matured fiber available in the grains of millets. Some grains have more, some grains have less, some grains have different quality of these aromatic fibers called lignons. Aliphatic handle, aromatic pool of electrons which provide you a wide range of PMF. In fact, proton motive force is not from the cations, it is from this stabilizing effect of lignons, wood, lignin. If I stand on a wooden plate and then touch the electricity, nothing happens to me because the stabilization of the electric current passing through happens in this lignin. So the precursor of lignin is lignon. It's basically a pool of aromatic electrons rotating around through a wide area, 5 or 6 or 10 aromatic benzene rings with an aliphatic handle, which has got stabilizing effect of EMF. And where is this EMF coming from? It is the mitochondrial stress, oxidative stress. When you burn glucose to produce ATP, you get EMF. And that EMF accumulated transforms itself into a free radical, which is the rascal, which can damage every organ anywhere on this living forms. Whether it is virus, whether it is your body, whether it is Timingala body, any body, doesn't matter. A huge whale can fall prey to this small free radical which can actually dysfunction your organs. And that's how diseases begin. So the origin of the disease is the EMF. Even if you eat pure food, organic food, no chemicals, you still generate a disease. And unless you have a mechanism to clean this disease, origin itself, you are not going to be healthy. Even if you eat millets, you should be able to. So if you eat ragi, it doesn't happen efficiently. That's why we call it neutral millet, because the fiber content is 3.6 per 100 grams. Whereas in foxtail millet, it is 8 grams per 100 grams. In brown top millet, it is 12.5. In kodo millet, it is 9 grams. In barnyard millet, it is 9.8 grams. In little millet, it is, little millet is 9.8, barnyard millet is 10 grams. And this nature of these lignons is different from each millet. There are 6,000 varieties of C4 grasses on this planet. Whether there is rain or no rain, they can grow because the genetic content of these wonderful C4 grasses dates back to millions and millions of years ago. And rice and wheat have 8 times less genetic content. That is, they do not have the processing of the information of this wherewithal. And that's the difference between C4 grasses and C3 grasses. C3 grasses, if you give water, they increase their yield. C4 grasses, no thanks. we are fine. They produce the same, whether you give water, whether you give fertilizer, whether you give pesticide, it hardly matters, it doesn't touch. It's like lotus leaf. Even if you dip in the water, nothing touches. Am I making sense? Millets do not require anything. They grow by themselves because the grasses harbor hydroscopic bacteria. They can just absorb water from the atmosphere. Just humidity of 40-50% is good. So they can grow at 10 degrees, they can grow at 45 degrees. We have done all these experiments, shown that the yield of foxtail millet is in fact is higher at a temperature of 45 than at 30. Whereas the yields of rice and wheat just dwindle down. Already we have 28% of less yields on this planet of both rice and wheat. Though we produce 800 million tons of rice and 1,000 million tons of wheat every year in the last 25 years. And because of that, we have lost the rivers on this planet. We have evaporated rivers. Now our Kaveri in our Mysore grows, they flow only for 5 months, not 12 months of year. Many of the perennial rivers have become annual rivers, 4 months, 5 months. It's all because you are eating rice and wheat. We are not connecting this. And poor engineer shops are breaking their heads, engineering heads, to make water available for them. And all these environmentalists are talking grow trees. To grow trees, you need the top 4-5 inch soil. The seeds of the trees have to take root. We have spoiled that. 43% of this soil is gone. That means even if you want to grow plants, you have no soil. So who can repair this? It is the roots of these C4 grasses which can hold the top 4-5 inch layers of the soil and make replenishment, regenerate, recreate. I am consciously using these words. No one else can do this for you. No one else. So we can cure type 1 diabetes, we can replenish the lost soil. And in between, these companies have stolen the rights of the seeds in the name of genetic modifications and patent and intellectual property rights. Copyrights. The Western world, copy left is the other side of the world. There is absolutely no freedom. The sovereignty of the farmer is taken away. This is what has happened when you choose to order in Zomato and Swiggy. You have no right, you have no freedom to what to eat and what not to eat. You eat what they give. Am I making sense? And we have no time to notice these issues. Because we are all put to busy in your careers, in your real estate, in your car purchasing. I want Innova, I want BMW, I want this, I want that. I want this big apartment. Oh, you see the skyscraper. Oh, free. Buy 2 apartments, get another apartment. Buy, your leg is not working. Oh, your knee is not, we have to replace it. Buy one, get one free. You see the world created. We have no time, no mind, no comprehension to even look at the real problems that are brewing. This is the underbelly of the present modern lifestyle that we have. Am I making sense? Actually, I have been very compact in my presentation. No, I don't want to finish. 45 minutes, another 8 minutes are left. So we have left the real thing, the real food. The slow and steady regulated release of glucose is possible only through a grain which has enough fiber content, which does not release glucose as and when you need, it will release. Just like a tap, how much water you want you release. Otherwise you close it, because the fiber which holds the carbohydrate slowly and steadily releases 24/7, never ever it breaches homeostasis of the blood. That means your blood is always thin. But you have damaged your systems. How do you get back immediately? We have to make your blood thinner to start with. It is the fiber of many green grasses, green leaves around you can make it happen. And we have knowledge of what leaves can make the thinness of the blood in that particular organs, in that particular system, in that particular EMF can we encounter. So there are exact leaves identified and we have put in the booklet. So we actually have found a complete system as to how to get healed of the modern diseases. Names are many diseases, but the basic philosophy is to correct the imbalances that we have created: microbial, hormonal, glucose. These three imbalances, you make it balanced, then you are healed. Period. No discussion. So many people ask me, oh, these people said you need this much protein. These are all just for your corporate food culture. They are selling their products. You don't need protein. Whatever protein you require, it is there in the millet. Foxtail millet has got 11%, ground up has got 12%, proso millet has got 12.5%. And you don't need protein that is already designed for another animal. That means if deer eats the grass and the millets and the lentils, it makes its body protein because it has a sequence of amino acids, and that is not suitable for you. So when you eat meat of another animal, you need to again distribute, disintegrate and then assemble. And we have no wherewithal. We have no proteases and protein assembly is not there with us, and that's why you get sick when you eat meat. And that's what has been happening. But then these guys, these Westerners have been running a narrative saying that we are hunter and gatherers who have been eating meat all along. When you didn't have the tools and wherewithal to hunt, what did you eat before? What is available to your hand as you walk outside is the C4 grasses. And the Khadar excavations, the archaeological findings have been very clear in its declaration that it is the C4 millet grasses and the grains that are found in the reminiscence of the skulls. And I can go on quoting a lot of historical evidences about millets being our food, and no institute on this planet in the recent past, be in America, be in China, be in India, anywhere, no mention of these wonderful ancestral grains is mentioned. In fact, there has not been a single institute doing research on millets. Till 2017, there was an institute in Hyderabad, Jowar Research Institute, which overnight turned into millet research, because Dr. Khadar has been running around all over India talking about millets. Madam, you are trying to clap. Please do clap. This is the sad story of human race. And we have bills of pharmaceutical companies. India alone pays 20,000 billion rupees per year just to manage the diabetes alone. I'm not talking about all the other diseases. All this IBS, Crohn's, gastric problem, this problem, not able to shit, all this will disappear like this in a matter of 6 weeks. If you only establish the gut microbes population in its true sense. So what you need to do, take 5 grams of siridhanya. I have grouped them, these 5 grains, having carbohydrate by fiber ratio into single digits. That is, okay, I have not given you this book. All that information is given. All the technical information about millets is given in this one single table. And this book is available free. PDF is available free, you can download free. Millet Magic Dr. Sarla, a YouTube channel. These 3 words if you press, and there are hundreds of videos. Recently loaded videos description box. This book is available in all languages. Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, Bengali, all languages. And this is the way how you make ambali, it is clearly described here. And sadly I have to make this table with a lot of heavy heart. I have made this table. Do's and don'ts. And if you go through this table of don'ts, this is exactly what we are all eating, which we are not supposed to, we are eating. So, in a tangential way, many times I think, this is only thinking, don't quote me on this, that we are manufacturing diseases so that the pharmaceutical companies can make. This is only a thought, I am not making this statement. Because we are all meant to eat this. And then we are becoming sick. And then we go to doctors. So, where is the health? You are going to hospital. You think it is in the hospitals? Where did you lose? You lost it in the kitchen. You are searching it in the hospital. And many other dimensions of millets. Please watch this video. And that's where I end my lecture. Another 7 minutes is there for 12:15. Please, second. So we'll have a question and answer session.
It is time we as a human race answered this question honestly. How can we put food on the table for all? In other words, ensure food security for everyone. We may use missiles to face threat from outside, but it is really food that comforts us in every situation. Having food on the table means we find the food that grows easily, is low cost because it can grow everywhere. That's easy and gentle on resources. That keeps us healthy. Food that can feed us today and many generations beyond. Ensuring food for everyone on the planet is also about food management systems used. What this means is who controls seeds and decisions like what to grow, how much to store, what is the plan for distribution, and how far the food travels. The thing to understand is whether local food varieties, grains, vegetables, plants are allowed to flourish, and farmers and local communities have an important role in deciding what they want to grow and eat. It is time we get concerned and ask if the food system is low cost, gives easy and quick access to food both in war and peace. Is it one that is sustainable? We can get answers very easily by looking at what we are eating and see if it checks off all criteria for food security. The foods that we have been focusing most on in the last 100 years or so is wheat and rice. The largest portion of food that most of us eat through the day to day is either wheat or rice or both. Now let's see how wheat and rice do on the food security score. Wheat and rice use billions of dollars worth of pesticides and synthetic fertilizers. The reason why soil fertility has eroded worldwide, and we've noticed loss of taste in fruits and vegetables today. Wheat and rice are guzzlers of natural resources as well. Did you know that 8 to 10,000 liters of water is needed to produce 1 kg of wheat or rice? This is an important reason why water resources are depleted all across the globe. In India, in Punjab, the cradle of Green Revolution, there will be no water in 16 years to continue growing wheat and rice. Most varieties of wheat and rice that are grown have been genetically modified and endanger health. It is also no secret that wheat and rice increase blood sugar. They are both linked to rapidly rising diabetes. Disease is a natural outcome of such voluminous consumption we see today of wheat and rice. So with huge demand of fertilizers, pesticides and water, eroding soil fertility and rising disease, how does wheat and rice go on food security? Now let's look at the management system that controls crops and farming practices. Today we have a central authority with policies that favor growing wheat and rice in select areas and shipping it everywhere. The centralized system has been pushing heavily farming of wheat, rice, along with corn and soy in the last several decades. Corn and soy farming is driven in large part by need for animal feed for the rising meat industry. Along with imbalanced crop choices, the food management systems are driving use of a well-known endocrine toxin, glyphosate, to put in both seeds and soil. The rising trend in farming of wheat, rice, soy and corn has gobbled more than 1 million square kilometers of land in the past 2 decades. Where did this land come from? Yes, many forests have been cut and turned into cropland. As we are losing forests, we are heading towards catastrophic climate change. How climate change? Because it is forests that primarily do the job of removing carbon from the air and storing it in the wood, plant matter and under the soil. With such monumental scale of deforestation, focus on a handful of crops and ignoring local food varieties, we are losing biodiversity. Healthful grains and plants are getting sidelined, even going extinct. With huge needs for resources and no seed control, farmers' debts and dependencies are rising. These are huge costs that we are paying for growing these crops, but subsidies offered on them hide these costs. Storage is an impractical and expensive option. So with political instability or war, areas get shut off and become inaccessible for shipments from far-flung places. So with a centralized management system with focus on just 4 or 5 major crops that guzzle resources, promotion of pesticide and GMO technology, looming climate crisis, depleting biodiversity, rising farmer debt, no food access in case of war, what kind of food security do we have? So how can we have food security? Millets, which are C4 grasses, is the perfect answer. library. Padmashree Dr. Khadar Vali's groundbreaking work for over 2 decades proves this without a doubt. Millets can grow everywhere. C4 crosses come with genetic mapping that helps them survive easily in 10 to 50 degrees temperature range. They are ready to harvest in 3 to 4 months. They do not need any fertilizers and pesticides, and in fact restore soil fertility in 3 to 4 years. There are many varieties of millets. Restoring these ancient grains as a key food will restore the lost biodiversity and build a vibrant ecosystem good for us and the health of the planet. With millets, we don't have to cut down forests. In fact, we can restore the ones we have lost. While 1 kg rice can be eaten by 5 people, 1 kg millets can be fed to 10. Millets are very light on water resources and need 40 times less water than rice to grow. No ecologically disturbing dams are necessary with millets. If Punjab switches entirely to millets, it can have food for another 600 years, even more. In fact, it can feed the entire country. Also important to note, millets can feed 3 times the world population today. Since every region, including barren lands, can grow millets, every place can become self-reliant. No long-distance transportation or shipment is then necessary. These ancient grains, with their high fiber content, give 100% glucose balance. Dr. Khadar's research clearly proves that these grains reverse and prevent diabetes and in fact many other conditions. How do small millets then score on food security? So what can we do? The answer is staring us in the face. What about the government? Here are Dr. Khadar's suggestions. Missiles may protect us from outside, but millets is the answer to internal security and global hunger problem. They are our sustenance for the future, just as they were for several centuries in the past. If the hunger is taken care of, perhaps there may not be any need for missiles.
Now the session is open for questions. తెలుగు మీడియం తెలుగులో కూడా మాట్లాడతారు సార్. ఏ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉన్నా కూడా యూ కెన్ ఫ్రీలీ ఆస్క్ డాక్టర్ ఖాదర్ ప్లీజ్. తెలుగులో కూడా అడగొచ్చమ్మా. మీరందరూ హౌస్ కీపింగ్ స్టాఫ్ అన్ని ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అడగచ్చు. మీకు ఏం ప్రాబ్లం ఉన్నా కూడా అడగచ్చు. రైట్?
Now the first question is going to be asked by sir.
Thank you very much. My question is more a generic question, not to do with millets, but to do with the practice of science. There is so much of evidence is available right under those schools. What is it that prevents people from acknowledging the existence of millets?
Yeah, the answer is in his own framing of the same, which is under the nose. So the smelling system is not functioning. That means we are still looking for the authorized seed from the West. And that is the sad story of human beings. who should not be worried about this Western approval. We need to go along with our lives. In fact, that's what I did. I just left everything and said, hey, I have to live my life. I cannot eat rubbish that they are giving. So I just left everything. I went, bought some very so-called spoiled land, then grew millets. They have been eating for the last 30 years. And I have no headache at all. I mean, I don't know what headache is. Of course, my wife tells me, if only you have head. And I'm not joking, it's so simple. I mean, it's so easy to be healthy. You know what to eat, what you should not do. Very simple. Because health is connected to your food. Nothing else. Nothing else. And how do you burn your glucose? So to burn glucose, you need to make Kali, the ATP, the biological battery has to be completed in discharge. How do you discharge? What? Just run around, walk, think, do some physical exercise which gives you the salt balance. Fantastic feelings. So by the time the day is ended, you want to sleep. And sleep heals you more than you think. So we have such a fantastic healing system, sleep. We have proved that also. People are taking tablets to get sleep. How do you think when you take tablet you are sleeping? Right? It's just beats me. So instead of doing the right thing, we are ending up doing the wrong thing and saying that this is progress. So that's the answer, sir. Is under the nose. We are not sweating. And I think it's just the awareness. Like tell each and everyone, just go back to your kitchen, eat millets, and the problems will solve themselves. You don't need to go and plant trees. The birds will plant trees if you eat millets. That's what I have shown. In fact, I have grown 8 acres of big forest. There now you have leopards. If you go to the land that I have grown, you have leopards resting. Bamboo grew, everything is just, I didn't plant anything. I just grew millets for 3 years. And the forest came by itself. So you invite the forest, it will come. You may think, what is this fellow talking? You invite the forest, it will come. And it is true, it will come. Are you ready to invite? Is the question. Thank you, sir.
So good morning, sir. So what actually I just wanted, it's only a great thing you have done in this and research and all, but I have a doubt, sir. There's a saying that you are what you eat, and since time immemorial, our ancestors, what actually their food and dietary habits have really influenced our biology and the genetics. So we have been eating, did our ancestors eat this kind of millets and all, like, you know, what, just, I'm not completed, sir. And they have been eating this, what actually today we are eating, because that food, we can really digest it. What I just came to know through some great intellectuals, even like you people, sir. And this millets and all, this is a latest tendency actually that has been recently developed. And is it, I have a doubt, sir, is it not something like taking a tablet which is going to really help you short term, and after few years, any problem, just like a painkiller you take today, that will relieve you from pain and all. But in the long run, that is going to create some kind of a problem. Is it not something like that? I have a doubt, because people, they are coming, today you eat millets, koras and all these things, because our generation, you know, ancestors, they have been eating only this rice and wheat, and even I have been eating wheat for the past 35 years, and I have not developed any blood pressure. I'm sorry, sugar, of course I have blood pressure.
All inconsistencies in your whole statements. And let me tell you frankly, without
Thank you
mixing
very
words, that blood pressure is nothing but sugar, sugar is nothing but blood pressure, and CKD is nothing but it's all glucose imbalance. So don't tell me jokes. Don't tell me jokes. I'm sorry to make this statement. Human race ate millets and millets only for millions of years. Millions of years. And even today, many tribal areas, you go to Chhattisgarh, they are eating millets only. And they have no BP, no sugar. And these are all names for the disturbed disease system. Don't say, I have no BP, so I am okay. I have no diabetes, I am okay. You have one or the other diseases. You have gastric problem. You are not able to shift properly. That's also a disease. It's also because of not having enough fiber in your body. The bowels are not moving. You have hemorrhoids. All these are all same for me. Diseased condition and being healthy. These are only two. Either you're sick or no sick. And don't tell me I have no diabetes, so I'm okay eating rice. Rice and wheat have been just in the last 100 years, it's a blip of created food habits. Food corporate, in fact I call this industrial food. It's not food, it's industrial food corporate. Can you believe that we are made to eat, we are allowed to eat by these experts sugar? 88 lakh tons of sugar is produced on this planet. We should not have been producing in a single milligram of sugar if we are scientific. And you are talking about 100 years history, I am talking about lakhs of years of history, sir. So your questions are all irrelevant. We are designed to eat millets because it is the millet fiber that can grow the microbes in the tummy. And if you eat rice, your gut microbes are gone. Your bald head, that could also be one of the diseases. Okay? So all these are diseases. This is the problem that we are facing. We have been fallen for this narrative of rice and wheat being, especially you come to Andhra and say rice is not your food. You will mad fellow has come. And you go to Punjab and say don't eat paratha. They will say, ooh, like that. In fact, Punjabi people ate kodo millet for millions of years, including Guru Nanak. They have forgotten. And that is the problem with us. We do not have history recorded properly because history is written by British fellows. They don't know. They know about coffee and tea only. They are the fellows who stood up all the mountains of the planet Earth. But we are not having guts to say that. Why the hell are you drinking coffee and tea? I don't understand. How stupid can you be in drinking coffee and tea?
It's a recent development.
The same thing, rice and wheat is after building the dams you have availability of. Before that it was not there. Only very rich fellows who had land under the lakes used to grow rice and then keep the rice thing on their mustache and then used to say, oh, we have eaten rice. All others are eating millets. So this is the story. Now, of course, I can just jump to our Puranas and say Varaha Swami when he got our earth from the hands of this Asura, he threw it into the space. And then he brings, and then he was very, after fighting them, he was very excited. And then the Bhaktas asked him, what do we give you? Priyangu by size. Priyangu is a word in Sanskrit for false statement. I can quote Jesus Christ, the Last Supper, unleavened bread is round up and false statement. And Muhammad Paigambar, brand barnyard millet porridge. So, history and pyramids, the grains available with the mummies is C4 glasses. And come just to Karnataka, our Karnataka, Eluru, Halebedu, the small girls holding the kanki is millets, not rice and wheat. Just 800 years ago, rice and wheat was not there. I'm not saying that Oryza sativa is not there in nature. It has also been there for millions of years, but we were not able to use as our main stream food, but it is the food corporates, industrial, this GMO and this bomb material, this fertilizers made this as our food, and we are not interested in knowing the history. And no one has been writing in this narrative that I have explained till now. So all of you are actually being told, and you believe that ancestors ate rice and wheat. No, our ancestors did not eat rice and wheat, period. No discussion.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, actually, I also came from farmer family. My father also, at the time of, I will say 20-30 years back, the cropping always 3-4 varieties they will produce actually. But currently in Telangana, I also basically belongs to Telangana. Currently in Telangana, highest yielding is rice, everybody knows. Recently government announced the 150 lakhs metric tons the production they are doing actually. But the
133 million tons is produced in India, out of which
153 Telangana is producing actually, lakhs metric tons actually. So now, as Santhu sir say that water is where bridges, and so because of more water also, people cannot yield other crops actually. That is the reason farmer is going for the particularly rice, because I know the basically fundamentally the village families what they are doing actually cropping. Thousands of acres they converted into the, not thousands actually, more than that, lakhs of acres they converted to the paddy for the purpose of they are making paddy actually they are producing. My question is here is, one side you are saying that millets they have to use it actually, the other side is farmers producing only the crops of paddy, and the government is giving incentives for that one. But that is a bad thing as you said, you are saying. Because of that one they are producing more rice, but other side the health issues is there more because of this rice eating people, because lowest cost food that one. Because of that one people are using that one as my assumption. Because of yielding is more rice and less quantity of millets is there. As a common man, the poor people suppose they cannot afford that price. As I say, millets 80 to 90, 100 rupees. Even we also think about twice when you purchasing that instead of rice or millets. How do we make the people aware the both sides? That's one side is the farmers, the other side is the second one is the people who are consumption of that one food actually. And my suggestion is, as you said, we have to reach every school. We have to reach every next generation kid to change their food habits. And same time the farmer, we have to make them to produce the needed the food what we need actually, what we are eating, what we need to change. So how do you balance this one actually?
Local condition. Okay, you see, as an irrigation engineer, I want to reveal the facts. All the projects in Telangana are designed for ID crops, not for paddy, irrigated dry. The farmers are supposed to raise only ID crops. But unfortunately, we irrigation engineers, we only execute the things. We create the infrastructure, but we don't have the guts to say, we have not trained the farmers to raise the ID crops. The moment we release the water, they go for paddy only. That is resulting in the tail end farmers' problems. Only the tail enders are raising ID crops because they are not getting water. Now but then they get water, they are raising the ID crops. Therefore, in any government, all the projects, including the Kaleshwaram, latest Kaleshwaram, all the 18 lakh acres are supposed to be ID crops. And we have submitted our DPR and showing all these crops, maize, everything. But unfortunately, we are not able to train the farmers before the project. We never convene a single meeting with the farmers before completion of the project. That is the failure of the government, and this is the result. That is the problem.
Actually, the answer is not. That is the answer from one dimension. The real problem is not the engineers, not the farmers. The problem is fertilizer companies. And you are taking that millets are 100 rupees. And your rice, you know how much? 45. If If I tell you it is, you have already paid for each kilo rice 3,800 rupees. 2.49 lakh crores is subsidy given check each and every year government gives check. You are not including it in the costing of this rice and that means you have already paid. You do not know that you have paid. Who has paid? The government has paid. In fact, the government doesn't know that it is paying. The fertilizer companies have made these arrangements with all the governments. Unless the check is written, the fertilizer companies do not function in your country. You understand? So, you thinking that you are paying only 50 rupees for your rice and wheat is a myth. And you paying 100 rupees, 200 rupees for millets, it is actually peanuts according to you. Where is 3,800 rupees? Where is 100 rupees? And the fact is that farmers are not growing it because there is no subsidy. It is not the price that they are getting, it is the cost of production, cost of processing, where there is not a single paisa. Instead, GST 18% on millets. Of course, I have been writing, going, talking, now it has come to 5%. In fact, there should have been other way. You should give 50,000 rupees per acre for the farmer that grows millets. Then they will grow millets. Am I making sense? So, the world is topsy-turvy. It is the awareness and the knowledge. And you are all thinking you are food secure, keeping the wheat and rice in the godowns, spraying pesticides, and eating that and creating type 1 diabetic patients and mentally retarded kids. We are not connecting all these dots. This is the problem. And we so-called educated have no time to explain to the common man. Are we? We are not doing it. And these are the problems.
It is always a sheer pleasure to listen to you. Quite motivating, sir. A couple of very important points that I want to bring to your notice. Millets alone may not be sufficient. Many of the researchers have also published because it might also have anti-nutrient like fattic acid and so on. So is there also a process through which that this can be eliminated? That's one. The other quick thing, we are all talking at the individual level. Is there a policy decision that can also be brought into it? Because PDS as such has also been I think, a biggest culprit in bringing wheats and rice for the last 7 decades. Thank you so much.
Actually, the answer is just the other way around. PDS system is not the culprit. It is a system designed by the corporates. And if you have failed to notice that, I'm sorry. So it's not the culprit. It is a very well designed system that has been brought up, because if the rich fellows cannot buy, the poor fellows should get their product by hook or crook. And that's the PDS. And of course, the politicians declaring 1 rupee kilo, 2 rupee kilo is also another well designed. I don't know whether I'm making sense to you guys. That's apart. The first question, this phytic acid anti-nutrients, is another well designed to food people like you also. Phytic acid has been the problem since ages. That actually it is not that kind of anti-nutrient as these people are talking about. If you just soak it, that's why we asked you to soak for 8 hours. It will just go away. And all your lentils have 18 times more phytic acid than, and no one talks about it. And sadly, the so-called nutrient research or experts are not asking the public to soak the lentils and throw away the water. And soaking and roasting and slow cooking can eliminate this so-called phytic acid problem. That means in olden days, I remember my grandmother used to soak any lentil, tur dal, moong dal, or chana dal, soak overnight and get up in the morning, and in fact, if there was a marriage or anything, they used to call the kids and then ask the kids to dance on the lentil thing so that you clean it. And then they make you take bath with the turmeric water. They clean the dals that you have done, and that only should be used for food cooking. So to get rid of the lentil phytic acid problem, our ancestors have designed these wonderful technologies, local processes. So that is the answer for your, and again, millets are more than enough, sir, because 90% of the barren land can be your food bowl. So again, this is, and there is one more, I will also, you have not asked me this question. Millets are goitrogenous and thyroid causing. This is another social media anti-propaganda for millets. I know about it. It is because there was one English doctor from Britain went to African countries and found in a village more than 30 ladies having goiter. He asked them, what do you eat? They said phony millet. That is one of the millets that in the African countries they eat even today. He came back to the England and then wrote an article. Millets cause goiter. Published. When the white fellows publish, it becomes science. When you publish, it is not science. Okay. They published. And then they said, goiter is actually nothing to do with thyroid. It is an excess material accumulated around the thyroid gland, which is called goiter. So millets are goitrogenous, is the sentence available, but then said it causes thyroid problem. Now all of a sudden millets cause thyroid. Millets, there are 240 varieties. Even if phony millet causes thyroid problem, why did they declare it as millets are causing thyroid problem? First of all, there is absolutely no research, absolutely. There is no research done. It is just this word to word they have created this. And we have cured lakhs of thyroid patients using little millet. Little millet fiber has wonderful capacity to clean up all the endocrine systems. Clean up. Clean up. So,
Sir, one more question from my side. The last question. Sir,
I have time.
on behalf of, they are not able to ask. Sir, two things. One is related to calcium, which is a very big issue among women. Pre-post menstrual, so many issues will be there. So can you suggest remedy? Sir, number one. Number second question is, if you want to shift from rice to millets, suddenly can we make a shift, or some suggestions are needed?
Yeah, you can shift from lunch time now onwards. There is no problem. Because that has been the food for human gut for millions of years. It is this 100-year blip of corporate food culture that has made rice as your food. So rice is absolute nonsense according to me as a scientific observation. There is no science in eating rice. Zero science. In fact, it is negative on your health because it disturbs your glucose balance. Second, how to eat millets is the most important. That you need to soak for 8 hours because the fiber is not normal fiber. The fiber, it is actually a carbohydrate fiber. Most of the fiber that you have in your vegetables and fruits is a carbohydrate fiber. Like alugada or sweet potato or suvarnagada, kandagada. Ivanni fibers that are carbohydrates. Whereas millets have in their fiber aromatic fiber, that is lignan based. That's the basic difference. So it is the aromatic fiber that can heal, whereas the carbohydrate fiber ultimately is carbohydrate. So the EMF, PMF range does not allow it to heal properly. Despite any fiber is an antioxidant. All said and done, aromatic fiber, non-aromatic fiber, both are positively going to help your health. That's why now you are vegetable, broccoli or cauliflower or cabbage or bendekai, and don't touch any grain. Within 6 weeks you will certainly feel better, because initial metabolism shifts, but then it cannot sustain. It cannot sustain. So many diseases will be left over in your body because there is not enough PMF in these fibers. So to clean up, you need this ultimate mature fiber, which is available in the millets and millets only. In fact, there are certain lignon type structures in fruits like bilva fruit or jackfruit or mango, even mango, and not the inside bulb. That outside thing has the same way the groundnut, but we throw that thing and then eat the inside. But it is the outside one which has got resveratrol, which is wonderful anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, like this. Hundreds of medicinal properties are there in lot of fibrous systems. And the present day food and the experts have not been talking about fiber at all. Zero. So our food, if you see, is zero fiber. And processed and processed. So the more you process, the more sickness. The less you process, the less sickness. You see, this is the principles. But our food technologies are going the other way. They are processing too much and then trying to feed. And this is the problem. We have. So, calcium. There is no calcium in your milk. Forget about milk. There is nothing that you are going to get out of paneer. Forget about it. The real calcium is there in ragi. Ragi has 3.6 grams of calcium. And sesame seeds have 10 grams. Nuvul calcium. And it's not that there is calcium. It is freely available for your system. Your body can absorb. Whereas calcium available in any meat product or in any other complex systems is not freely available. So, for growing kids, what do you want to give? Ragi milk is the solution. So, we have done these experiments. Many of our kids in our clinic have been fed ragi milk, bajra, pearl millet milk. And pearl millet milk is very tasty for kids. In fact, you can make curds out of it. Just put lactobacillus, it will become curds. And all wonderful things that you need. Sesame seeds, garnishing the bread, garnishing the sweets, garnishing is the culture all throughout the planet in the world if you want. Be it in Islam world, Mexico, New Zealand, Australia, tribals, everywhere they use sesame seeds. And without sesame seeds, there is no heart to beat proper heart. In fact, if in India, they say, sampradaya, when you die, they put noodle in your mouth and say Narayana, Narayana. The reason is that the fatty acids present in, they can actually make your heart beat again. So that is the test. If I put noodle and you still did not respond, then you are really dead, and that is the last test. సో నువ్వులు వేసినా బతకలేదు వీడు ఎత్తుకొని పోండి. అందుకే తిలాంజలి అంటాం. తిల్ అంటే నువ్వులు. సో ద కాల్షియం అసోసియేటెడ్ fatty acid is actually the fatty acid present in polar bears and frogs that hibernate. So when there is the first radiation, light falls upon them, the beating starts. So the hibernating bear comes back to life from -20, -30 when the temperature. See, this is the beauty of this fatty acid available in bear. Sesame seed. Oh, నువ్వులు తింటే నల్లగైపోతావా అని ఇప్పుడు అందరూ చెప్తారు. Black or white, that's what I was about to tell. నువ్వులు తింటే flax seeds doesn't have as much as నువ్వులు. You see, these are all trends. Quinoa, 1,800 rupees. Walnut, Brazil nut. Where are these nuts? You will become a nut. You can eat groundnut, which is available freely here. So this is company. Quinoa is not even a grain. It's a pseudo grain. It's actually a seed of a plant. I mean, sabji like kotimira, like so they are not grains that can be sustainably available for human use. So these are all companies create trends. So be aware of these things. Calcium. So you feed, especially menopause women, just take ragi milk. In fact, in our clinic near my house, we have a shop which sells nuvula laddu with article. So it is there written in this book also. Even cancer patients, you require good calcium metabolism. So without eating nuvula laddu, we have mentioned in this book for cancer patients. Without sesame seeds, you cannot cure your cancer. So all this information is lost. So we are trying to revive the information itself. For me, it is the information that is important. If not today, after 50 years, it will be useful. So, and it is not 50 years, 100 years back, million years back. The truth is truth, whether million years back or million years ahead of time. So sesame seed has calcium that is absorbable by human gut. Period. No discussion here. It's not a view. It is being proven for millions of years. Thousands of years people have eaten. We have forgotten under the influence of corporate food technology. Corporate food technology. So it's processing that is gaining importance. Do not process. Go back to home. Go back to your kitchen. Cook with your hands. In fact, me and my wife, every day in the morning, we grind our chutney. We make dosa idli. Putting in a mixie is NTP is disturbed. Natural temperature and pressure or standard temperature and pressure. You can make any biochemical process either to deal with the temperature or pressure. See, just go to Himalayas as you climb up. Oxygen doesn't stick on your lungs. The reason is pressure is less, temperature is less. So you come down, you feel better. The same oxygen sticks into your lungs. So the biochemical processes follow this rule very rigidly. Standard temperature and pressure. So when you cook your food also, you should not be cooking under pressure and all that. Steel vessels and all are not good. Cook your food in a mud pot because the pressure is released each and every second. When you put in a mud pot, the difference is the pressure is not built up even under the layers of the mud pot. So that is the science of cooking. So our ancestors cooked only in mud pots, and that's why I keep, at least for ambali, keep your mud pot in your. So this is, a lot of things are there, please go through, and I actually need more than 3 to 5 days to go into the details.
Sir, ambali is the only way to consume the millets, or are there any other ways?
Ambali is not the only way. You can eat idli, you can eat dosa, you can make your stupid biryani also. No problem. I'm not worried about how you eat. What you eat. Millets only you eat. And ambali is your doctor. Without ambali, don't even eat millets. And even millets have to be consumed after drinking ambali. Then you will have no problem whatsoever. At least once a day.
Sir,
If you are sick, you are going to die tomorrow, then drink only ambali for 3-4 days. Ambali 5 grams. Or as much as you want. Eat well. Don't diet. This is not diet. This is your food. Eat thoroughly. Eat well. In fact, I eat 10 idlis. Today morning we both eat 10 idlis I have eaten. And and I will not think about food till tomorrow morning.
So otherwise, right from the morning breakfast, lunch we are eating, dinner we are eating, 12 o'clock we are eating.
Because you are hungry again.
Continuously we are
Yes.
eating.
That's because rice and wheat.
అమ్మా ఈ హౌస్ కీపింగ్ స్టాఫ్ లో వచ్చి క్వశ్చన్స్ అడగాలి. ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఏంటి, మీకు ఏమైనా ఇబ్బందులు ఉన్నాయా? మీరు మాట్లాడండి అమ్మా, అడగండి. క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏమైనా మీకు ఉన్నాయా? అందరూ ఆరోగ్యంగా ఉన్నారా? ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయా?
తెలుగులో మాట్లాడమంటున్నారు. చెప్పమ్మా, ఇంకేమైనా ఇబ్బందులు ఉన్నాయా? చాలా మందికి ఆడవాళ్ళకు ఉన్న ప్రాబ్లము గైనకలాజికల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్. ముట్ట అవుతే రాకపోవటము, వస్తే ఆగకపోవటము, గర్భకోశంలో గడ్డలు, ఎండోమెట్రియాసిస్ అంటారు, పీసీఓడి అంటే అండాణువుల దగ్గర అండకోశాల్లో గుల్లలు, నీటి గుల్లలు. ఈ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అన్నీ 6 వారాల్లో మీరు దూరం కావచ్చు. పాలు, చక్కెర, గుడ్లు, మాంసం కింద మాంసం చేస్తున్నారు. 6 వారాల్లోనే మీకు తేడాలు వస్తాయి. 6 weeks and 6 months you can be completely free of this problems. 6 నెలల్లో పూర్తిగా దూరం కావచ్చు. ఇంకొక 6 నెలలు అలాగే మీరు ముందు మిల్లెట్స్ తింటూ, అంబలి తాగుతూ, సామెలు ఎక్కువగా వాడుతూ వెళ్తే మీ మూతి మీద మీసాలు కూడాను దూరం అవుతాయి. People who are going to beauty parlors need not go to beauty parlor. I'm not joking. We have done these experiments. We have seen thousands of women spending their time and suffering has been completely eliminated by just following the hormone imbalance program. చాలా సింపుల్, చాలా సరళంగా ఎంత సులభమైన, అంటే పైసలే ఖర్చు లేదు మీకు. యూ జస్ట్ హ్యావ్ టు లీవ్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. అదే పుస్తకంలో చెప్పానే, డూ నాట్ అండ్ డూస్. తినదగినవి, తినకూడనివి అని పట్టి రాసింది. ఆ పట్టి ఫాలో అయితే చాలు. అందరికీ, ఎస్పెషలీ విమెన్ అండ్ గర్ల్స్, యంగ్ బాయ్స్ హ్యావ్ నో స్పర్మ్. 21-year-old kids should have 125 million sperm count. Now they don't even have 25 million. These are all the problems within because of the food that we are eating. And the real problem is experts not talking about it. అంటే అమృత తుల్యమైన అంబలిని ఇప్పటికి ప్రపంచంలో ప్రతి ఒక్కరూ తాగేట్టు చేయాల్సిన బాధ్యత ఈ సోకాల్డ్ తజ్ఞుల మీద ఉన్నది. కానీ ఎవ్వరు దాని గురించి మాట్లాడటం లేదు. అండ్ దాట్ ఈస్ ద సాడ్నెస్. అంటే అదే నాకు కోపం వచ్చింది. పిల్లలు చేయని తప్పుకు వాళ్ళు అనుభవిస్తున్నారు. 6 సంవత్సరాల అమ్మాయి ముట్టయిందంటే ఎవరిది బాధ్యత? రోడ్ల మీద గుట్కా మాలలు అమ్ముతున్నాను. దేవాలయాల పక్కన గుట్కా మాలలు ఉన్నాయి, పుష్పమాలలు లేవు. We are allowing it to happen. This is where the problem is. It's not the kids' mistake. మా అబ్బాయి ఎప్పుడు చాక్లెట్ తింటుంది. మీరు చాక్లెట్ కనిపిస్తుంటే చాక్లెట్ తిరిగి ఇంకేం తింటాడు? మిల్లెట్ లడ్డు పెట్టావా అక్కడ? పెట్టట్లేదు. కోక్, పెప్సీ కనిపిస్తుంది కానీ కోకోనట్ వాటర్ కనిపిస్తుందా? కనిపించదు. అంటే ఎవరు బాధ్యులు? మనమే కదా. మా బెంగళూరులో 1 కిలోమీటర్ నడిస్తే 5 పబ్బులు కనిపిస్తున్నాయి. ఎవరు డబ్బులు సంపాదిస్తున్నాడు? లిక్కర్ ఇండస్ట్రీ సంపాదిస్తుంది. అంటే పిల్లలకి సారాయి తాపిస్తున్నాము. ఈ ప్రశ్న అడగాలా లేదా మనం? పేపర్లలో ఇవి హెడ్లైన్స్లో రావాలా వద్దా? వస్తున్నాయా? ఏ రాజకీయ నాయకుడైనా మాట్లాడుతున్నాడా? ఏ ప్రొఫెసర్ అయినా బహిరంగంగా ఈ విషయాల గురించి చర్చిస్తున్నారా? చర్చించడం లేదు. చర్చించడం మొదలుపెట్టాడు సమాజం బాగుంది.
Last question. On behalf of women, all women and also from the family side. So we are confused with using so many oils. See, all the stars, TV stars, superstars are brand ambassadors of so many oils. So we are confused with the oils also. Can you throw just one? This may be helpful.
These are very pertinent questions. Oils are very important as I explained to you. Till oil. Actually, tail. పదం వచ్చిందే తేల్ నుంచి. సో ఆయిల్ సీడ్స్ అని ఒక గ్రూప్ ఉందండి. కుసుమలు, నువ్వులు, వేరుశనగలు, కొబ్బెర, ఇవన్నీ ఆయిల్స్. మీరు వేరే దేశాలకు వెళ్తే వేరే ఆయిల్ సీడ్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో ఇక్కడే ఆయిల్ సీడ్స్ తీసుకెళ్ళి అక్కడ ఇవ్వడము, అక్కడే ఆయిల్ సీడ్స్ ఇక్కడికి తీసుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. అక్కడెక్కడో ఇటాలియన్ వెళ్తే ఆలివ్ ఆయిల్ అంటే మనకు ఆలివ్ ఆయిల్ అవసరం లేదు. కొబ్బరి నూనె, వేరుశనగ నూనె చాలు. వేరుశనగ నూనె అతి భయంకరమైన కరువు ప్రాంతాల్లో కూడా పెంచుకోవచ్చు. దానికంటే 10 రెట్లు వర్షం తక్కువైనా పెరిగేవి మిల్లెట్స్. అంటే వేరుశనగలు పెరగని చోట కూడాను మనం మిల్లెట్స్ పెంచుకోవచ్చు. ఆ వేరుశనగల నూనెలో మనం తీసుకునే విధానం ఎద్దుగానుగలతో వాడితే ఆ పైన పొరలో గులాబీ రంగు పొరల్లో ఉన్న రెస్వెరాట్రాలు నూనెలోకి వచ్చేస్తాయి. అదే మీరు మిషన్లో వేసి బుర్రని తిప్పితే గానిగే అని సపరేట్గా ఆ రెస్వెరాట్రాలు పాలిమరైజ్ అయిపోయి ఎందుకు పనికిరాని విధంగా బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ఎస్టీ స్టాండర్డ్ టెంపరేచర్. ఇంతే తేడా. సో ఏ ఆయిల్ వాడాలి మీరు? ఎద్దుగానుగ నూనెలు వాడాలి. ఈ కార్పొరేట్ కంపెనీలు వచ్చి దాన్ని పూర్తిగా నాశనం చేసేసారు. దే హ్యావ్ యాక్చువల్లీ 1990 స్టాప్ అబౌట్ ఇట్. ఓ వేరుశనగ నూనెలో అఫ్లోటాక్సిన్ ఉంది, అదేదో ఫంగల్ ఇన్ఫెక్షన్ నుంచి వచ్చి ఉంటుంది. కొన్ని బ్యాచ్లో ఎక్కడో వచ్చి ఉండొచ్చు. దాన్ని పెద్దగా నేరేటివ్ బిల్డప్ చేసి దాన్ని మొత్తం తీసేస్తారు. ఎందుకు నూనెలో క్వాలిటీ లేదు అది ఇది అని చెప్పేసి. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ నిజమైన నూనెలు మెంటలీ రిటార్డెడ్ కిడ్స్ వెర్రి నువ్వులు అని ఉంది. దాని పేరే వెర్రి నువ్వులు. అంటే మీకు ఏమైనా వెర్రి ఉంటే దాన్ని బాగు చేస్తుంది. ఐఎమ్ నాట్ జోకింగ్, ఐఎమ్ సీరియస్లీ. We have done a lot of experiments. Very నువ్వుల నూనె, నైజర్ సీడ్ ఆయిల్. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ ఉత్తర భారతదేశంలో దాన్ని రామ్ తిల్ అంటారు. అంటే రాముడు తీసుకున్న నూనె. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ అతనికి వెంకటేశ్వర స్వామికి మీరు నైవేద్యం పెట్టాలంటే సామెలలో వెరు నువ్వుల నూనెతో పెట్టాలి నైవేద్యం, పాయసం చేయాలి. వెరి నువ్వుల నూనె అంత శ్రేష్టమైనది. ఎందుకంటే బ్రెయిన్లో మీ మెదడులో ఆ నర సంయోజనం జరుగుతున్నప్పుడు కరెక్ట్ సిగ్నల్స్ అంటే ఏంటి? ఆ ఫ్యాటీ యాసిడ్ హ్యాస్ ది సిగ్నలింగ్. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ద ఫైబర్స్ దట్ వర్క్ యాజ్ ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ స్విచ్ అండ్ స్విచ్ ఆన్. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఎలక్ట్రిసిటీ స్విచ్ ఆఫ్ స్విచ్ ఆన్ అంటారు కదా, అవన్నీ మన దేహంలో సాల్ట్స్ ప్లస్ ద ఫ్యాటీ యాసిడ్ విచ్ వర్క్స్ యాజ్ సిగ్నల్. ఈ మెకానిజం మొదలు కావాలంటే అది సిగ్నల్ ఇస్తుంది. అది స్విచ్ ఆఫ్ చేయాలంటే ఆ సిస్ ట్రాన్స్ బాండ్ ఇటువైపు తిరుగుతాయి, అప్పుడు సిగ్నల్ పోదన్నమాట. సో ఇలాంటి అద్భుతమైన బయోకెమికల్ ప్రాసెస్ని కంట్రోల్ చేసేదానికే మీకు నూనెలు కావాలి. చాలా మంది నూనెలు తీసుకోవద్దని. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ యాజ్ యూ గ్రో ఓల్డ్ యూ నీడ్ ద రియల్ గుడ్ ఆయిల్స్ ఫర్. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ మేము చాలామందికి ఈ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి నూనెను డైరెక్ట్గా తాగండిరా బాబు, పొద్దున పడిగడుకున్న 3 చెంచాలు అని చెప్తున్నాం. ఎందుకంటే మీ నరనాడుల్ని శుద్ధం చేసేదానికి, ఈ సిగ్నల్స్ సరిగ్గా తయారు చేసేదానికి కావాల్సిన అంశమే ఫ్యాట్. సో డోంట్ గో ఫ్యాట్ నాట్ ప్రిపేర్డ్ బై యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. మీరు ఎక్కువ గ్లూకోజ్ తినడం వల్ల కొవ్వు వస్తుంది. ఆ కొవ్వు వేరే, ఈ కొవ్వు వేరే. సో ఈ కొవ్వు మంచిది, ఆ కొవ్వు చెడ్డది. ఇది విషయం. సో ఆయిల్స్ ఆర్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. యూ మేక్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. ఎద్దుగానుగలతో చేస్తే ఆ రొటేషన్ ఆర్ఎంపి అంటారు, రొటేషన్స్ ఆర్పిఎం, రొటేషన్స్ పర్ మినిట్. అక్కడ యాక్చువల్లీ ఎద్దు 1 నిమిషానికి 1/2 or 1.5 కంటే ఎక్కువ తిరగదు. మీరు ఏ మిషన్ డిజైన్ చేసినా కానీ మినిమం ఆఫ్ 8 ఆర్పిఎం ఉంటుంది, ఎంత గేర్ బాక్స్ పెట్టినా కానీ. సో 8 ఆర్పిఎం అంటే అక్కడ హీట్ జనరేట్ అవుతుంది. ఎస్పెషలీ ద మిషన్స్ ఆర్ జనరలీ మేడ్ బై స్టీల్ ఆర్ సమ్ మెటల్ విచ్ డజంట్ హ్యావ్ ద వుడ్. ఎద్దుగానుగలో షాఫ్ట్ ఈజ్ వుడ్ అండ్ కింద పాత్ర కూడాను వుడ్డే ఉంటుంది. ఎస్పెషలీ బాగే మర అని పెయిన్ ట్రీ అంటారు. అది అద్భుతమైన లిగ్నిన్. సో మీరు ఎంత తిరుగుతున్నా కానీ అక్కడ వచ్చినా కానీ మీకు అందుకే మీరు చెట్టు కింద లైట్నింగ్ వచ్చినప్పుడు ఉండకూడదు అంటారు బికాస్ ఇట్ అబ్సార్బ్స్ దట్ మచ్ ఎనర్జీ సో ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ అండర్ ద ట్రీ యూ విల్ హ్యావ్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ సో వెన్ లైట్నింగ్ స్ట్రైక్ యూ బీ ఇన్ ద ఓపెన్ ఫీల్డ్ అనేది ఆ కారణం ఇట్ ఇస్ ఆల్ ఎనర్జీ బేసిక్లీ ఇట్ ఈస్ హౌ డు యూ manage and manipulate and give the right direction. So if you have no control, you are in trouble. If you have control and managing it well, you are in balance. So in balance రావాలంటే మీకు oils అతి ముఖ్యం. And of course, not enough research is done, but I have a slowly understood, I think even from the gut microbes, you need certain amount of oils that are required. So we have seen అంబలి చేస్తూ తాగుతూ ఉన్నా కానీ ఈ మంచి ఆయిల్స్ లేకుండా ఉంటే వాళ్ళ ఎఫిషియెంట్ రికవరీ వాజ్ నాట్ అబ్జర్వ్ దెన్ వీ హ్యావ్ గివెన్ దిస్ ఆయిల్స్ టు ద క్యాన్సర్ పేషెంట్ 1 or 2 weeks then the recovery was very fast. So even this is a far-fetched hypothesis that even the gut microbes require some amount of good oils అని ఈ మధ్య జస్ట్ గడిచిన సంవత్సరంగా నాకు ఆ హైపోథసిస్ మైండ్లో వస్తూ ఉంది. ఐ హ్యావ్ టు అఫ్ కోర్స్ డిజైన్ లిటిల్ మోర్ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్స్ అండ్ టు స్పీక్ అథారిటీ. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
So thank you for the wonderful session. Secondly, what you mentioned with regards to our ancestors having grains and rice, I have heard the same story from my mother from her childhood. My question for today's session is, one thing is that today millets are available in a lot of packing and in a lot of forms, organic, non-organic, different. Which one are we supposed to choose and how should we decide it? Secondly, with regards to millets and today's industrial processed food which is available through lentils and the vegetables we are consuming, how can the millets help us in balancing those processed foods? Thank you.
Yeah, of course, the answer is simple. Don't use processed foods. But you are busy, so you want to use processed. This is a paradox. You have to solve individual. Each and every individual has to solve. In fact, I refuse to eat. You understand? The answer is this. I refuse to eat. So fasting is better than eating these processed foods. Okay. Second, what was the second point you mentioned? We have to keep talking about it. We have to keep talking about it. That's the only way we create awareness. We have to keep talking.
So how should we choose the millets? The
That
product that is
organic and
available?
inorganic, there is no problem because millets are organic by nature. Even if you put fertilizer and pesticide, it doesn't take it. So nothing to worry. Of course, genetically modified systems are coming up. I hope these guys get wise, not fall prey to greediness. That's what has happened till now. So, but minor millets are very difficult to deal with genetically. Till today, no one has succeeded. And so it's complex system. So I have lot of faith that humans cannot break its code and then create GM modifications. Very complicated stuff. I know. I have done a lot of work. So I'm glad it is like that. So, and it's another important thing that humans, the next generation should do is search for the lost brains. I have worked with 5 brains where I have been working for 30 years. But I believe we need 300 years of collective research to get all the good things out of our nature, which we have been concentrating on bad things all along. So let's travel back. I hope, I believe, and I think my initiation of this discussion about food, the right food. In fact, many of my topics, lectures are if your food is right, no medicine is needed. And if your food is wrong, no medicine works. I have gone one step beyond than that, let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your... That is, once the word medicine comes, means you are sick already. So I want to go beyond that. Why should we be sick at all? If your food is right, so we have to define what the right food is in every dimension. Oils, wheat, lentils, what are the things? So we need to do more research, and I don't think I have done it. I think I'm just the beginning of the ladder. So lot more work has to be done. It's not that I know everything. I'm just a sincere beginning I have made. So I don't claim I know everything because nature is so humongous, so awesome. I'm awestruck, and we are not following the right path, and that's the answer.
Thank you so much for the wonderful session. I think please join me in giving a standing ovation to Khadar. Thank you so much. So it is the time to honor our Khadar sir. Now I request Dr. Venugopal, Dr. Shailaja, Dr. K. Narayana, Professor G. K. Shrikant, Madam Padmashree, Madam Sindhuja, please come out to the stage to felicitate sir along with VC sir. Please come out to the stage. Sindhuja, please. Dinesh. Professor Dinesh. Professor Shashikala and members of CWD and Aina Club also can join. Members of CWD also can join. Please set it down. Please set it down. I'll take only 5 more minutes. That's all. Please set it down. Felicitate Vijay Kumar. Please join. All our academic leaders, please join. He is a physiotherapist and yoga expert from Bangalore. Thank you, sir. And also we request VC sir to felicitate Sam Prasad Reddy. Thank you so much. Thank you. So it is my duty to give vote of thanks. So on behalf of ICFI Foundation, I'll take only 2 minutes please. On behalf of ICFI Foundation for Higher Education, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our Vice Chancellor, Dr. L.S. Ganesh Garu, and we are deeply indebted to Dr. Khadar, a pioneering Indian organic farmer and environmentalist, also known as the Millet Man of India, for taking your valuable time and your busy schedule and to share your valuable insights on millets, a wise choice for modern living. Thank you so much, sir. We are grateful to Madam Srimati N. Shobharani Yashashvi, Chairperson ICFI Group, for her wishes, and she told me personally to to forward her wishes to Dr. Khadar. So I am transferring to you, sir, from our chairperson. So we are thankful to Sri V.R. Shankara Garu, President ICFI Group and Board of Governors of ICFI Society for his constant support. I extend my wholehearted thanks to all the directors, teams, heads of departments, esteemed colleagues and support staff for making this event a grand success. I wish to convey a special note of thanks to our Director Administration and to the entire IFH Administration team for their untiring support from the last 2 days in organizing this event, being the holidays for the last 2 days. Thank you so much to all of you. And also our special thanks to the press, to the media for your gracious presence and covering all the program lively. Thank you so much, sir. And my blessings to all the students and my thanks to all the support staff, housekeeping staff, security, hostels, mess, bus, everybody. Thank you so much. I think all the faculty members may join for a group photograph. All the faculty, please come onto the dais for a photograph, please. Along with press also can join, please. You are the special invitees. Yeah, all the people please have, that is, please be there only. Please stand there only so that you have photograph there only. That is a good idea.
क्या ट्राई में इस पे ले ले उस पे ले भाई जल्दी कुछ तो कर दे दे नहीं तो गिर जाएगा अच्छा सामने से लेना हाँ वही तो बोल रहा हूँ प्राइम से
అందరూ అక్కడే నిలబడండి ఒక ఫోటోగ్రాఫ్ తీసుకున్న తర్వాత మీరు వెళ్తుందండి 2 minutes ఓన్లీ ఓకే 2 నిమిషాలు వెయిట్ చేయండి ఫోటో తీసుకున్న తర్వాత వెళ్తుంది